And I was in a great mood this morning, and now I'm like, I'm hanging.
Well,
Went to the gym and kicked my
yeah.
butt. Good.
I got-
good seeing you in there this morning.
I got T-boned 2-3 years ago, and the lady wouldn't admit fault, and so we didn't have. We only had liability.
Yeah.
I don't know what she had, but basically the
Yeah.
officer would not assign blame.
And they don't,
Insurance
and they
companies
don't
just
anymore.
whatever. We'll take care of ours. We take care of ours, and then ours was like, well, if it was your fault, we can't prove whatever that it's her fault. So you only have liability. So we just got screwed. So
Yeah, and literally you do. And they're going to try to find a way to do that. And like I said, I'm paying $700 a month for this coverage, and what am I getting for that? And I told her, I said, y'all jacked this up over the last year like ridiculously. And then here I am.
everything
in.
has.
Yeah, I'm coming in here now, and you're trying to find a way not to cover me for this stuff.
Well, our property insurance went from, at the storage units in Gadsden, they went from $598 a month, my property insurance, to $900.
Yeah, for what?
Yeah.
Did anybody break in on you? No.
Nope.
Not at all.
Property didn't even, it's not like it went up in value. In fact, they came out yesterday to look at, he's like, have you done anything to the property? I'm like, haven't done anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I'm paying $302
Right.
more.
I mean, what
a
I
month.
got to do, throw a couple cameras? You already got cameras up there, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, what can you do? Oh, are we ready to open up?
Yeah.
All right. Again, hey. Yeah, corporate America. Put you in a bad mood quick. Well, welcome everyone. To another podcast of Flip the Script. Again, I'm here with Cameron, and I'm Dr. J. Joey. And what do you want to talk about today, brother? Settle my nerves down a little bit. What do we got?
Let's do the difference between a fit person and a healthy person. People typically think they're one and the same when we both know it's definitely not the case. I'm much more healthy now than I was when I was a sophomore in high school, but I'm probably a third of the fitness level. So, but I feel a lot better. So I figure we can dive into that.
Well, there's that story that everybody's heard about the marathon runner who competes year round and then has the heart attack at age 35 in his front yard, right? So was he fit? By most people's standards, absolutely, obviously, right? Was he healthy? Maybe not so much. And then you have someone like the Prime Minister of England, Winston Churchill. The guy lived, I think, 90 or somewhere close to it. Smoked cigars, drank every day, overweight by anybody's standards today, even 50 years, 60 years ago. Was he fit? No. Healthy? Well, maybe more so than the 35-year-old marathon runner that had the heart attack in the front yard. So there is a difference between the two correlations. And like I write in my first book, personally, let's get healthy and fit will follow, right? I think you were mentioning this to me once before that even, this was in your late teens, early 20s for you when you were fit, but yet you were still having some health-related issues with some stomach problems.
Yeah, real bad stomach ulcers.
Yeah.
I was 16. No, I think it started when I was 15, then 16, and that was those 2 years, 15, 16 probably.
And I know friends of mine who, are working out, looking great, dealing with irritable bowel problems, skin-related disorders, psoriasis, eczema, things like this. If we get healthy, we're going to clear those things up and be fit and healthy, where they were obviously fit, but there were some health-related conditions going on. So it's not just the way we look on the outside, but how we're feeling on the inside. Health, when we look at health overall, we want homeostasis of the body, everything in balance. So my opinion, health is how the cells are functioning. We need to look inside more than we do outside. Well, because fit, for the most part, is on the outside, right? Okay. That doesn't necessarily give you longevity. So I say get healthy, let fit follow. But everybody has been into this fit craze, and that's why you've also found, 60 years of yo-yo diets. Because everybody's worried about everybody's more concerned about how they look on the outside than how everything's going on the inside. So for a lot of people, it's in the process of getting fit. Let's say they're an overweight person and they're in the process of trying to get fit and they're trying to lose that weight. They're going to find that as they do that, they're going to become healthier typically as well. And I also say that usually, though, a lot of times when you find people who are in the process of trying to get fit, certain things like blood pressure related issues, they tend to come under control to some degree. And that's not necessarily because they're out pounding the cardio so much, but eventually as they start to feel better and they find a routine they like, they tend to understand the correlation between what they're putting in their body and how much quicker they can get to their desired fit look as well, right? The side effect of that is that some of these markers that we use for determining overall health tend to come under control as well, right? That's an example. A lot of young kids today, when they're the overweight kids, they don't really want to jump into those sports that require speed because they don't have it, right? So if we can find them something that they're better at for carrying extra weight, it may be the gym. They go in the gym, they start to develop a little bit of muscle, they get a more positive feeling about themselves. And then I found over the years, the majority of the time, they'll start improving their diet, which got them in that overweight condition in the first place, right? So, and that major misconception is this thing between weight loss and exercise. And I mentioned this again in my first book as well, that truthfully, you can lose more weight by correcting your diet and eliminating extreme exercise for a while than if you're trying to lose weight with exercise alone. Because weight gain comes down to a hormonal issue, period. Like I write in my book, it's about insulin. If you don't release insulin, you don't store fat. So if I really want to get my weight down and get healthy, if I'm overweight, then the key is don't release insulin. And any species that is on this planet, very, very interesting fact, any species on the planet, the less insulin that they release through a lifetime, the longer their lifespan. And that's pretty amazing stuff. So again, if I'm not releasing insulin, I'm not storing fat and the other complications associated with the elevated insulin, I'm healthier. Because one of the markers that we're going to use for health over time is our lifespan, period. So get healthy first, let fit follow.
So that was something I thought about, is that it's kind of hard to get someone into the gym if they're super unhealthy because they already feel like crap. So if someone's not healthy and they feel like crap all the time, they're not going to want to go to the gym. But if they get healthy, they're feeling much better, much more likely to go and exercise.
Good point. And also less injury. You and I were talking about this the other night. An overweight person's knees don't really want them pounding on a treadmill to lose the weight.
The inflammation,
right?
too, is when you're eating all that junk.
You're pro-inflammatory already.
Just the knees alone, when I'm eating a lot better, less carbs, sugar especially, and then when I'm eating, the opposite. It's like the knee, for me, it's the knees is where I can tell it the most. But, some person might be their shoulders or whatever. But, you can feel the difference. You talk to anyone that's done a low-carb diet or just real healthy diet, they'll talk about how their joints, and how it feels way better. So, yeah, if somebody's joints hurt, they're not going to go in there and get on that elliptical or Stairmaster or whatever. They're going to look for any excuse not to do that. So, yeah, healthy, fit will follow. I like that. I think that's definitely true. And also for me, this was something I was just telling a buddy of mine. He was wanting to do a cut, and he always bulks up and then cuts down. And I told him, I said, for me, I basically cut and bulk at the same time and just do it gradually, because I noticed that when I'm trying to get in the protein to grow my muscles, I'm also, I don't know if it's just me psychologically, but I'm also watching all my other stuff. And so I just happen to eat perfectly to a T just by watching my protein. It's just something it does to me personally, and it works well for me.
Well, because you see the reaction that you're getting, and you see it rather quickly.
And I feel amazing.
And because it's rather quick, you can correlate those two to the cause and the effect, correct? So, and we talk about this back when I was in my bodybuilding days in the late 70s, early 80s. It was not uncommon for us to put on 30 pounds and, between contests. But then we're yo-yoing up and down, up and down. Now, we fit on stage? Yeah, but are we healthy in the long run to do that? Well, no. So, but for a lot of us, it was what we were looking like during our competition and not in the off season. However, what we found was that if you're trying to compete multiple times in a year, it's just a lot easier not to put all that excessive weight back on. And it feels better, and why not look better through the course of through the year, right? And like you said, there's less inflammation, a lot more energy, and that's the beauty of getting healthy as well. So good point there. Stop that yo-yo effect that is unhealthy to the body. And of course, when I notice that too, is that some of those inflammatory, same thing with the skin conditions. When you start putting on another 10 or 15 pounds, some of these inflammation-related within the body, they start to express themselves again. So, so I like to get that health, maintain that health, increase that longevity over time. Look for those things like how you feel, certainly. Decrease symptoms of inflammation, and see how the body's doing at a cellular level. Pay attention to that. Some blood work is a good guideline for that. But I know a lot of people who are kicking their own butts, exercising every day, and still taking some medications that are defeating their whole purpose. Statin drug for cholesterol is an example of that. Side effect of that is rhabdomyolysis, which is basically destruction of the muscle tissue and the nerves. So how can that correlate with what you're trying to do when you're trying to get yourself what you consider to be fit, but are you healthy? Well, obviously not, right? You're actually causing destruction to the very structure that you're working so hard to try to maintain and maximize function with, right? So you have to, again, get healthy, get off of all those regulating medications, and boom, fit will follow.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense for me when I think about why people always think fit is healthy, just because, like, everyone wants to look good. Everyone wants to be liked, That's just how it is. So they just, if I get fit, I feel better about myself, all this stuff. And it's like, if you fix that diet, your anxiety might go away. If you get fit, you're just going to get a eating disorder or something. You know what I mean?
You're right. But there's that new norm that we were talking about in the last 20 years. When I was growing up and I was in high school, nobody dieted because we didn't diet. Everybody was lean because we ate differently than we do today. Mm-hmm. And when you look at pictures back then, everybody's running around in shorts, legs are thin. Nobody, again, was doing any diets. And, some exercising was, but for the most part, at that young of an age, we're just moving. But even my grandparents, same pair of pants, same size, my grandfather, same 31-inch waist jeans his whole life. My grandmother never owned a pair of Reeboks. It was just the lifestyle. So today now the new norm is rather large. So now we're a society who actually pays monthly rather heavily, sometimes as much as $40, $100 a month to have a place to go and undo all the damage that we do to ourselves the rest of the day with our consumption of inadequate nutrition, right? And of course, 80 of those who have the health club membership, what's the ratio? 20% use it 80% of the time.
Oh,
right?
dude, yeah. Planet
So,
Fitness's
yeah.
business model is that they have to they look. There's a guy named Alex Hormozy that talks about it, and he said that their business model is each location needs 10,000 members, and so they need those people not to use it. And so they said, what's the three things people use the most? Chalk, free weights,
Yeah.
and like something else. So they got rid of all
All
of
that.
And then they said people are allowed. We're going to do the alarm thing.
Yeah.
Made it a weird color too, but they made it cheap, and so that's their business plan. But it's
Sure.
true, people buy it and then just never go.
Right, and never use it, but they have their membership, right? And yeah, so if we have, again, like you get 20% of the people actually use that gym 80% of the time. So if at 5 o'clock, 80% of those members decide they were going to work out, where would they park, right? So it's designed that way because people have good intentions, but then they tend to never act on it. And so you and I were talking about that too. So just, make it, consistency is the key with healthy, fit as well. And we talked about even if you just correct one meal a day, if you're eating 3 or 4 meals, if you're eating 3 meals, that's a 30% correction you made that quickly.
And what I like about that is I could even notice it myself, like eat healthy all day, and then you're like, because I was doing this intermittent fasting, and I was either having just like some liquid like protein shake and a green drink or something or whatever, but I'd feel good, sharp focus, and then I'd be like, oh, I have hardly any calories in for the day. Let me go eat something. I don't care what it is. And I'd eat something crappy, and then I'm like, I feel terrible. I feel like crap. And
that's your cells and your body telling you, give me something here, okay?
Right.
Because I can't do anything with this junk that you just threw in me. But, you've done well up to that point, and then you just sort of come undone, where if you'd have taken a little bit of time and thrown a good meal in there, you wouldn't have gone through your body yelling at you, what is this? No, 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 please. Literally, if we looked at our cells inside our body and said every time we're putting something into us, what are we doing to them? Okay, we might not treat them so poorly if we look at it. Because like I said, again, these cells, they do the same thing you do. They respirate, they duplicate, they eliminate. They have a daily cycle just like you do. But we have the option what we put in the mouth, right? Mm-hmm. They don't. So they have to rely on us to take care of them. And I mentioned it before, in today's society, sometimes when I look around, I'm thinking, that's genocide going on inside that person's body.
oh, dude,
right?
I said something terrible once. I was out of Walmart, and I saw someone that was just, morbidly obese. And I was like, that's some form of suicide.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's not a funny situation because it's rampant out there, but yes, in the sense that is. And, here again, for a lot of people, it's disinformation. The information they're getting on television, Taco Bell's flooding them with the specials that they're running, and that's what our society pretty much follows, is what's being sold to them on television, what they consider to be the norm. And, so there's a lot of unfit people because there's a lot of unhealthy people out there. So if we can work on that and hopefully this Get America Healthy Again movement that we have been speaking about, and now we have Senator Kennedy pushing this. It could be a global change that needs to happen, and hopefully it will. And we just, we'll find a lot of people, a lot less people needing to diet, and the fad exercises over time. Go back, what was it, 20 years ago, and what was the way to lose weight? It was the heat. Everybody was wrapping themselves in cellophane, okay, to lose weight. Go 10 years forward, and what are they doing now? Now they're freezing off fat, right? So what's the next one coming in? You know, Fen-Phen, that was everybody's weight loss, started causing kidney damage. Then they went to the HCG diet. People were able to lose massive weights because they can consume 500 calories a day and not be hungry. And then they would stop that protocol and all that weight would come back on. So again, there is no magical pill.
Well, now it's Ozempic, and it's just buckle down and die.
Now we're talking gastroparesis. We're talking about all those serotonin uptake inhibitors that are within the gut getting shut down. So you're going to look at massive amounts of depression associated with that. And yeah, because again, they have a metabolic problem that we are trying to mask. So even if you lose all that weight, and again here, for some people, lack the discipline, that's the easiest route to go. Again, just like we were talking about at the very beginning, do they look fit? Yes, they do. Is that healthy? Absolutely not. So overall, people, there is no shortcut. Get healthy. Fit will follow. Right?
Yeah. I mean, if someone's having trouble finding the motivation, like I would tell them, like, just try like literally 2 weeks of eating clean. Just try 2 weeks and then go and have one really bad meal, like something terrible.
Pay attention to how you feel when you eat something.
Yeah. Eat a bunch of cake and deep fried Oreos, and you're gonna just
And if you're
die.
eating that all the time, you don't know.
Well, they're so used to feeling
they're so
unhealthy.
used to feeling like doo-doo that they don't know what feeling good is. And if they have one semi-good day when they're not feeling like total crap, they consider it, I'm having a good day. They have no idea what a good day is.
Well, it's like lady that cuts my hair. She said she only sleeps like a couple hours a night, and it's like she's just so used to being tired, she doesn't know what feeling rested is like. It's like the same thing. It's like because when they were 3, their parents were giving them French toast sticks with tons of the most sugar-infused maple syrup, that they've been feeling like that for literally forever.
You know, this was the good point you were talking about when you were running around and eating just about anything you wanted to, and you're 17 or 18, right? And you're staying ripped. Well, you're playing soccer, you're all this energy that you're using up. But at the same time, your testosterone was almost at its peak. So you can run like that for a while. I did the same thing. So you're talking about the same thing with a lot of the women who are losing the sleep, and they get into their 30s, suddenly they look in the mirror one day and go, well, what happened? Hormones. They'll eventually catch up with you. So the same thing you were talking about, as you continue to eat a lot of that junk food that elevates the estrogens, suddenly you're in your 20, 21, 22, and suddenly here's this weight that's come on, right? And your activity level may be somewhat the same, but what happened? Well, that's hormones for you. They'll take a time to become dysfunctional. And then you can't really pinpoint, well, what did I do? Same thing with the woman that's 35 now, looks in the mirror and goes, what happened to yesterday? Right? That's hormones. So they sneak up on us, especially when they're diet related. Then you have a lot of correction to do that is going to be diet related or food consumption related. I don't like to use the word diet, but you have to get those hormones back under control. Otherwise, you're going to be treating a bunch of symptoms, trying to put the fire out with various medications, including the hypothyroid that we're starting to see earlier and earlier, especially in the females. And a lot of these diseases, like we talked about before, that used to come down the road at 60 and 70, well, now we're starting to see those at 20 and 30, even though they may even look fit to a degree. So again, are they healthy? Well, not with these health-related problems. Hypothyroid, even if you look fit on the outside, you can't consider that as healthy as you could be. So we can't go with what fit is if we want to look at our overall longevity, because we're not going to stay in our 20s and 30s forever. And if we can maintain health early, that's why. If we can get to them in their teens and get to in their 20s, it's so much easier than trying to reverse that once you get to my age, right?
Yeah, and building
So-
and just building habits, like
Yes.
on a simple, in simple
Maintaining-
terms, you know.
Maintaining, trying to maintain muscle mass. Again, we also were talking about this too. You got to keep that metabolism going. That means you small meals, eat frequently, and that'll keep you in that healthy mode. Like I talked about earlier, weight loss is an insulin-related issue. So when my people are losing weight and we want to sustain that, we're looking at protein 3 to 4 times a day. Even once that weight is lost, if they want to continue to maintain that, they've got to continue the metabolism at a high level, and that means protein, protein, protein. So, and that's why a lot of my people who go on my diet protocols for the weight loss, it comes rather quickly. And in the beginning, sometimes for the first 3 weeks, I will tell them, limit exercising to a very minimum, maybe walking, maybe some yoga or something like that. If we really want to get this weight loss started, then we want to avoid that sugar being held in the muscles that we are creating when we are doing high intensity exercise. Then they start to lose that weight rather quickly. Blood pressure drops and all these other problems, symptoms, skin starts to clear up. This gives them that motivation to keep on moving forward, right? And they're going to just clean up their lifestyle once they are able to comprehend it's what they're putting in their body. Yeah. Keep insulin at a minimum. You're going to lose weight. You have to. Another one of those that we could go on and on and on, brother. Really good stuff. But I'm sure we'll add on to this.
Yeah, we'll probably end up doing
Anything
that.
else you wanted to go over here on this one?
That's about it
Fit
that I
versus
had.
healthy,
We'll
you
probably do a part 2 of this at some point, just because.
Because when it comes to nutrition and comes to
And-
so-called dieting and exercise, we can go on and on and on.
And we're probably going to end up getting some people asking some questions about this one. I feel like we will. So,
Maximum out of the minimum, that's the key. So that you could sustainability, right? So let's sign out for now. Until next time, everyone. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to spend it with us. We hope, again, as always, there's something you can use out of each segment. So until next time, I'm Dr. J with Cam, signing out. Have yourself a great day so you're not missing one.